Today we're going to be visiting La Paz, Bolivia and travelling to South America for a very first time. It is currently 4:30 AM and we have such a long journey ahead of us. And of course, it is raining as we leave the UK. This is our first time in South America and there are kind of three reasons why we are a little bit nervous about travelling to this part of the world. So firstly, we are flying into La Paz, which is actually the highest capital city in the world. We're flying into 3,700 meters, so we have a feeling we might be getting altitude sickness.
Obviously, South America is meant to be a bit more dangerous and we really don't know what to expect, so it's going to be interesting to see if it's actually as dangerous as people claim it is.
We actually have about 3 months planned in South America, but also Panama as well. And we're going to be going to lots of different places all around the continent, which I am so excited to share with you guys. I've had quite a few questions and people ask me about the safety in South America. So by the end of this trip, hopefully I can give you a good perspective of what it's actually like backpacking and traveling South America. And the last thing that we are a little bit worried about is that we really don't speak much Spanish. I've been learning on Duolingo for 10 minutes a day for the last month. How's it going?
It's not looking good.
Obviously, we've traveled to a lot of places where they don't speak English, and I don't think it's going to be a limit, but we will just go with the flow, try and pick up as much Spanish as we can. Maybe after 3 months, we'll know a little bit more. We are boarding our flight to Bolivia. We have just landed in South America, in Bolivia, but we do actually have another 1 hour flight before we land in La Paz. We're currently only at 400 meters, so the altitude sickness is not going to hit us quite yet. A 1 hour flight and we will be in La Paz.
Finally.
After about 36 hours of traveling, or more, I don't know. Just arrived in La Paz and just booked an Uber. Hopefully it's going to work. We're in a taxi.
I'm excited. We just had to climb like 5 flights of stairs. And I'm so out of breath.
It was only 3, don't kid yourself.
Was it only 3? Oh my gosh.
It seriously is high up. But we've got some water, so apparently one of the best ways to get over altitude sickness or try to not get it is to drink some water. Good morning, guys. We're not feeling too good this morning. As you can probably tell just from talking, I'm getting out of breath.
I need more oxygen.
You very importantly do not fly into La Paz, Bolivia.
Just watching this TikTok. It's a little bit too late, but this lady just told me not to fly to La Paz, Bolivia. Oops.
So yesterday we had a pretty chilled day, just kind of lying about, not doing too much, trying to make sure we can adjust to this altitude.
I did not sleep well at all. I kept waking up partly because of jet lag, but also like my head hurts. I feel dizzy. I feel like shaky. It's the weirdest thing.
So we are feeling a little bit better now. Honestly, we're not feeling 100%. We're definitely still feeling the altitude, especially as you walk, you start to get out of breath. We're going to try and check out the city today and do some of the cool activities you can do here in La Paz.
The drivers here don't really seem to pay attention to the lights. They will just go through a red light, so you do have to be a bit careful when you're crossing the road.
We've just arrived on this bridge and you can kind of see the extent of this city. Right up here goes up to 4,000 meters. And I see all the houses on the hill. Such a crazy city. I've never seen anything like this.
And the only way to get all the way up there, unless you're going by car, is to go on the cable car. So we're going to try that out later.
So this is Plaza Med of San Francisco and this is like the middle of the city. We actually came here yesterday just to get some food. And down there we actually saw this little rap battle. It was like so crazy, I've never seen something like that. Walking up the stairs definitely makes you blow out.
I can feel my heart's beating so fast. It's not even that many steps. Like I could easily do that at home, but here I'm like, oh, I get out of breath just talking.
We've just come into this little cafe called Cafe Vida, and it looks so pretty. We're probably going to get something a little bit traditional to South America. Well, Emilia says it is anyway. What does Emilia always have for breakfast?
If you've watched us before, you'll know, but I always have to have my smoothie bowl. Well, I don't have to, but I like it. So I have just got an acai bowl. An acai here in South America is actually grown here, so it's so much better than anywhere else in the world that you get it. And look at these fruits. I've never seen these before. Let me know if you know what they are, but they look so good.
After that incredible acai bowl, we are going to get on the cable car and kind of do a tour of the cable cars around the city, because apparently it's the best way to kind of get a good navigation around this place. Here we are, we have reached the cable car station. Let's go see if we can get some tickets.
We've just come up to 4,000 meters, and let me tell you, I can actually feel it like on my chest. I do feel a bit more like woo. But anyway, we're going to swap lines, and then we're going to go on another one and hopefully go to a viewpoint.
Okay, let's go on to the next line. I think this one is supposed to be quite a beautiful ride. We've just arrived at 16 de Julio, and apparently there's a viewpoint here, so we're going to go check it out, because apparently you can see the whole of the city.
I feel so out of it. Like as we've climbed up, I could just feel my head getting more like blurry. I feel dizzy, and I'm getting out of breath again. But the views are so cool.
I mean, I'm definitely getting out of breath, even just walking very slowly, but I've not got a headache. I did earlier this morning, but I'm feeling all right now. The view of La Paz and incredible mountains in the distance looks incredible. Here we are, 4,095 meters elevation. So all these peaks you can see in the distance with the snow-capped mountains, these are all 6,000 meter peaks all the way around, surrounding La Paz. But the tallest mountain in Bolivia, which is called Ilequani, I don't know how to say it, I'll put it down here, is over here, and it's like 6,400 meters tall. Crazy stuff. We actually haven't mentioned, but obviously this is the Andes, the longest mountain range in the world, spanning the whole length of South America. And we're right in the middle of it, 4,000 meters up. How are you feeling right now, Emilia?
I feel giggly. I always feel like I'm drunk, but I'm not. I'm just at altitude.
Definitely no alcohol for you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, don't need any. The weather here in the weather.
Emilia can't talk.
I don't know why I'm laughing, I'm sorry. The weather here in La Paz is quite unpredictable because it's on the equator. It's obviously a subtropical climate, but then because we're so high, it's a lot cooler, but it's still, the sun is so strong.
Stay hydrated, that's how you beat altitude sickness. And we are off the line. So we've just exited the red line, and now we're back in the region of where we are staying at our hostel. Honestly, it's actually quite easy to use the, not the subway,
The cable car.
the cable car system. So I highly recommend using it, even just to get around the city. But honestly, the views are incredible. And this blue building is the Adventure Brew Hostel. This is where we're staying, but on the top floor up there, which means we have to walk all the way up every time we go to our room. The long walk up to the top floor. This is what we do. Collapse on the bed and try and catch our breath every time we walk up those stairs. We've just been chilling in this room for a while, and Emilia's really not been feeling that well. I don't know if it's the altitude, because I've been feeling fine, but have a look at what Emilia's doing at the moment. Are you okay?
Not feeling my strongest right now, but got a little bit of cold hands, so just put my gloves on.
Are you watching the iPad with your gloves on?
I'm trying to find out what the difference between an alpaca and a llama is.
Oh.
Do you guys know? Let me find out. Basically, alpacas are bigger than llamas.
There you go. You've heard it from Emilia first. For context, it really isn't that cold in here because I'm getting pretty warm in just this layer and t-shirt. So yeah, Emilia's not doing too well. Anyway, tomorrow we're going to have a chilled evening, but tomorrow we're going to go to one of the really cool markets here in La Paz, and there's something I really want to show you because it is a little bit disturbing, but we'll show you that tomorrow, and hopefully Emilia is feeling a little bit better. Good morning, everybody. How are you feeling this morning?
I don't feel my best, but I do feel better than yesterday. So
At least you don't have your gloves on.
yeah, I don't have gloves on now, so that's a good sign. But we're gonna go and we're gonna push through and we're gonna go see these markets.
Welcome to the Witches Market. So we're going to show you around this area because it's colourful and it does feel very safe around here too. So up here you can see all the witches just hanging between the buildings. How creepy is that?
It's a little bit off-putting, but it's cool. It's cool.
That is a little bit creepy. You may be aware, but Bolivia is actually one of the biggest producers of coca, and so they actually have a lot of coca leaves which you make like coca tea and lots of different things. Apparently a lot of the locals actually eat the coca and it's supposed to help with altitude sickness, but I don't think we're going to give that a go, are we?
No, that's not really our thing.
I want to show you guys something which is a little bit disturbing, but obviously you've got to appreciate and look at the local culture. Yeah, let's show you what's up on this stall. These are dried llama fetuses, and in Bolivia it's traditional to bury them underneath the foundations of a house to bring good luck and prosperity. 99% of Bolivian families have them buried underneath their homes, but don't worry, these fetuses are actually miscarriages which are very common in llamas. But seeing them like this is definitely a little bit disturbing.
This market area is so colourful and there's so much stuff you can buy. Like every shop is full to the brim of like different random items.
In regards to safety around here, as we've been here a few days now, I feel like around this witches market and around this area it is a lot safer, but there are certain parts of the city where you do feel a bit more vulnerable and you're kind of watching behind your back, looking out to see, because it is quite known for a bit of pickpocketing and petty theft, but nothing too dangerous. This guy looks a little bit evil. You don't want to mess with this guy. We have seen a couple of circumstances where we can see some of the locals getting aggressive towards each other, and at that point we've kind of just moved away and avoided the situations just so we can't be pulled up into any sort of danger.
Although yesterday when we were walking across this bridge, we basically walked past this group of guys and one of them knocked the other guy and the guy kind of fell on me, and that kind of did scare me a little bit because this guy just collapsed on me. But yeah, we just walked away and it was fine.
We've been filming this whole video on my iPhone 15 and it's actually a really good quality, but it also feels a lot safer than bringing around a big camera because obviously it's probably going to attract some more theft and stuff, so just taking every precaution we can whilst we're getting used to being here in South America. There's also lots of random dogs all over the streets. I don't know why.
There's another one.
But they just run loose, don't they?
Yeah, they run wild. Is that a Labrador? Oh, I also have my phone on this strap which goes around my neck so that if anyone tries to pull it out my hand, I've got it attached to me.
In terms of the altitude, it is something you definitely have to get used to. And for most people, it normally takes 3 to 5 days to get used to this incredibly high city. All the advice online says you should slowly ascend to La Paz, but if you can't do that, make sure you give yourself a few days to get used to the altitude. Oh, smelly old bus.
I'm a bit out of breath walking up this hill, but I'm actually feeling a lot better than earlier. But weirdly, we've been both having stomach cramps. I have no idea if that's anything to do with the altitude or if we've just got a bug, but
yeah,
really
my stomach's not feeling great right now. Oh, I'm out of breath from walking up those stairs again to get to our room on the 3rd floor. Honestly, try and not get the 3rd floor if you're coming from sea level and it's your first day in La Paz.
yeah, get ground level room.
It should be, I'd pay extra for that.
Yes.
We have a very, very exciting couple of videos coming up where we're going to be going to a very famous but beautiful place in Bolivia, and I'm so excited for this. This is going to be one of the most incredible experiences.
Yeah, and we've got quite the journey tonight to get there, so that's going to be interesting.
Now, Emilia's got a little bit of a favour to ask, and I'll let her carry on.
This is just our first video of South America, and we're going to have some crazy stuff coming in the next few months. Like, I can't believe what we're going to be doing. So if you want to see that, then please subscribe and like this video, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye!
Bye!